Hey! We're back today with the video about bullying and how to fall in love with yourself all over again after you've been attacked by malicious, mean people.
Back at it with the self-love.
Damn, Daniel, back at it again with the self-love. I hate myself. The deal with bullying is that it's usually out of a place of discomfort. It usually comes from their own insecurities and discomfort in their own lives. And I think that's important to remember because it's not you, it's just that they're unhappy. So just remember that if anyone's being mean to you or bullying you or saying anything that is hurting your feelings, that it's not your fault and they just aren't happy in their own lives and they're taking it out on everyone else.
I feel like part of it with bullying also is when people say something, they like to think, oh, well, I can just say it was a joke and brush it off and oh, I didn't mean it, but you still said it, and it's gonna hurt somebody the same, even if you add the no offense or the I'm just joking or I didn't mean it, it's still gonna hurt the same.
People mature, they realize that, and people who are immature, they think that they can make excuses for the things they've said, or they can blame it on their own beliefs. They feel like they can order people around. And you are entitled to your own opinions, but that doesn't mean you can force them on other people. The bullying is pointless. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to matter. In 20 years, you're not going to look back and go, man, I bullied that kid for liking, I don't know, Supernatural, and I really don't like that show, and I feel really good about it now because they don't like Supernatural anymore. It's not going to matter. None of your opinions matter to anybody else. It's good to stand up for what you believe in, but it's not good to force your beliefs down other people's throats. If you have an opinion about something and it's going to hurt somebody else, just mind your own business and keep it to yourself. So, for example, a kid who's been bullied their whole lives, if they don't agree with something, they're more likely to just not say anything about it. And that's hard because sometimes their opinions are good opinions, and sometimes it would be beneficial for them to speak up, but they don't feel comfortable doing so. And that's just sad, and it shouldn't happen. And we want to encourage you guys to speak your minds about things and be yourselves and be honest with yourselves and with other people, and not let other people affect you in a way that's going to close you off to the rest of the world and prohibit you from growing as a person.
Yeah, back to what Mia said about bullying being pointless. In the moment, if you bully somebody for watching a TV show, they might go home and actually think, wow, I'm getting bullied for this, and discontinue that behavior. But you're not going to feel better about it. I affected somebody's life, but that's not the right way to touch anybody's lives, you know?
You shouldn't feel good about keeping people from doing things they love doing.
Yeah. So in that way, bullying is pointless because all you're doing is putting some other kid down. You're not changing anything for the better for you.
And I think all that effort into hurting other people is wasted because you're not using it for yourself. You could be being kind to people, and you could be being nice and making friends and helping others, and that would make you feel better as a person, but instead you're using all that anger and all that hate in order to hurt other people. It actually does drive people to do things that they regret years later. Drugs are a superficial way to make yourself feel better, and self-harm and suicide are an escape. And we don't want that for anybody, and no one should want that for anybody.
I think when people are insecure, they tend to go two different ways. They either bully other kids or they bully themselves. Bullying anyone outwards or inwards is not a good habit at all. I also think it's important to realize that bullies nowadays, they tend to tie in the behavior that somebody performs that they disagree with into that person in general, which is not right. Like, I could think Mia's taste in TV shows is gross. A bully would say Mia's gross just because of that one thing. And that's way more hurtful to the person being bullied, because now they don't only think that their music taste or anything else that they stand for is bad, they think that they're bad. That's really wrong, and I've seen it firsthand, people calling people gross or disgusting for things that they are doing. It's not right to, just because you disagree with one thing a person does, to crucify them, basically. And anybody who does that, in my opinion, is not thinking clearly when they say their things, and should think more before they open their mouth.
Like, that's awful to say someone is disgusting or something when it's not something that's a defining factor in their personality. All in all, bullying is bad, and it shouldn't happen.
The type of bullying we're talking about right now is really geared towards what people think and what's on the inside, which is one whole different thing than bullying, which is still going on for how a person looks.